Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Mo about her new record, Motordrome, which is going to be available January 28th. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
What's it like a couple of weeks before a record that you've been working on for such a long time is finally coming out? Like, has it hit you that it's almost out?
I mean, yeah, no, actually, I'm like freaking out a little bit. It's like, it wasn't until like 2 days ago or something that I all of a sudden was like, oh my God, it's coming out in like 2 weeks. So yeah, I'm feeling all the emotions. I'm like super insanely excited, also super nervous. And it's surreal. You know, it feels surreal.
It's amazing. I mean, you've given your fans a little bit of a taste of what's to come. I mean, that's kind of the standard thing, right? Yeah. Singles, Goosebumps, Brad Pitt, and everything.
Stuff, yeah.
What was kind of the goal in mind, maybe with the sound with this new record? Like, what was kind of coming to mind when you were putting this record together?
I mean, I think one of the things was just that I really wanted the sound to just be a collection of all the stuff I really love, basically. And I think I was just really wanted to get dark, Scandi synths and like guitars. I was just like, because like sometimes, throughout these years when I've been like just touring and like working and it's do, sometimes I didn't really have the time to stop and really think, okay, but what actually do I just really, really, really want to make, And I feel like with this album, because it was made during lockdown, I had plenty of time to really think about that. And to really find a sound that I loved. So I'm really happy about that.
It's interesting that you say the sounds and everything. I mean, there's a lot happening, but people that listen to your music and a lot of your collaborations as well, there's a lot happening in the sound. I've noticed one of my favorite things is there's so much genre bending happening. Obviously, there's some artists that kind of stay. What do you think about that? I'm curious. Like, what do you think about all the genre bending happening?
No, totally. You're so right about that. I've always been a very genre bending kind of person, I guess. But I think and because especially with my the album that I released in 2018, Forever Neverland, that was more like of the electronic pop dance sort of world, like following the success of Lean On with Major Lazer and stuff. But then at the same time, I think because I used to be in punk bands and like really be very much into that whole like just punk scene and activism and stuff. So I think I've always had that like love for like darker kind of music and like bars and just alternative music and so I think I wanted to go back to that a little bit more with this album.
Yeah, that was my next question. Are we gonna get a little glimpse of that a little bit in Motordrome, a little bit like some of that kind of elements?
Yeah, I think. I mean, definitely going back to some of that kind of like darker, Scandi, alternative, like punkier kind of feel, I guess. But still, I mean, I love songs that are. I love pop music as well, of course. But just like that sort of mix between the two worlds is always like where I think it gets interesting.
100%. You mentioned it, you beat me to it. I mean, you have collabed on some of the biggest songs of all time on the planet, you know what I mean, with Major Lazer and everything. What is so appealing about the collaboration? Like, what do you love about collaborating with other artists, Mo?
Yeah. What I love about collaborating with other artists is I feel like it allows you to try out different sides of yourself, but also it kind of like encourages you to really do your best because you're putting because you're doing it together with others and you're influencing their name in a way, especially when you feature their song. So it really it makes you up your game, but it also allows you to try and be someone else. And that's what I find so exciting. And then it's also just always amazing to meet new friends and colleagues. Like
100%.
That's important to have that community.
Absolutely. It's interesting. Obviously, maybe with the Major Lazer collaborations is a bit different, but it's funny because I've interviewed a lot of artists, and during the pandemic, there was a lot of free time. Obviously, people were kind of at home. A lot of collaboration just happened by artists just Instagramming each other, being like, hey, want to make a song together?
Totally. No, completely. And like that happens, that has happened to me a lot, like over the years. Like that is the way that it sort of just is like, well, should we do this? And then, because like I always travel with my vocal setup and like my sound card and stuff. So you can just kind of do it anywhere.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome.
That's so cool. I find it also interesting as well too, where because of streaming services and everything, like I'm discovering new music every day, Mo. Like it's not like it's like
so much. There's so much music.
Yeah, it's like crazy.
It's insane. It's literally crazy.
Is it cool to also see though that so many people like Mo, you have millions of monthly listeners on Spotify, which is unbelievable and everything from all around the world. But because of playlists and because, like I said, we're always discovering music, it's cool to think that there's a lot of people that know your music, but there's some people that might not know your music that have access to it. That's pretty cool to think about too.
It's so cool. I do really think it's a really good time to be a musician. Like there's, sure, there's many, but like it's like, but it everybody all over the world can listen to it, and like, and people are so interested in new music, and like it's just like it is a really good time to be, and also it's easy to make music. Like you can just download a program and you can get going, and it's the golden age.
Just for me personally, because I enjoy the Brad Pitt, I love that song. Can you? Is there something you could tell me specifically about that song? Maybe like a fun fact or anything specific about that song? Selfishly, because I just like the song.
Yeah, I'm happy you like that one. I really like that one too. But actually, like I guess a fun fact. It's not that fun, I guess. But just. That song it really took like a really, really, really long time to finish the production. That one, like it was through like a million different versions. And then, that's one thing. But then another thing was that I got the idea to that song like title just after watching Meet Joe Black, that movie with Brad Pitt.
Of course, like, I love that. That's a good peanut butter, absolutely.
And like, no, but it's like I've watched so many movies with Brad Pitt, but I've never watched Meet Joe Black. But then watching that, I was like, I need to make a song called Brad Pitt.
That's so interesting. So, that's a fun fact.
So weird.
That's a great. It's a fun fact.
It's a fun fact. Yeah.
Now that we're on it, Goosebumps. I like that song too. I feel like we have to give that song credit too. Like, some love too. Now, anything you could tell me about that song too?
Yeah, that song was the first song that I intentionally wrote for this album, Motordrome. It was like the first time that I started to really just putting words and chords to what I was going through at the time, and after all these years of touring and then taking the break, and so in that way, this is one of the most important songs for me, like on a more like personal level for this album.
Absolutely. Mo is a musician, but Mo is also a storyteller. That's what you do. Whether people do music, whether people write, direct, act, you're all storytellers. What excites you about storytelling?
What excites me the most, I think, is this magical feeling that it creates, like a good story or like a good song, like, or a movie, but like telling these things, like inviting people into your universe, like that is a way of creating this an alternative reality right next to the reality you're living. But this one just feels more magical, and I think that's what I just love about music and storytelling.
And to kind of add to that, we were talking about a little bit, the access to the music. A lot of your songs that you've worked on and a lot of the collaborations you've worked on with, Major Lazer, Justin Bieber, Foster the People. There's not really like a shelf life for a lot of those songs. Like those songs are kind of never going to go away. Are you, I'm assuming you're okay with that. Like it's pretty cool. Like they're always going to be around, right?
It's so cool, honestly, because this is not something I think about so often, but when you say it and when I think about it, it's the thing, oh my God, I'm so lucky. It's all out there. It's like I'm feeling blessed about that.
They use, because
it is wild,
because I'm Canadian and I go to a lot of hockey games. They use a lot of your songs in hockey games a lot. Lean On is always you.
Yes. I'm so into sports, so it always makes me so happy when people say that they heard my song at a sports game.
It's great. It's pretty cool because Lean On came on, but like Cold Water was after Lean On, correct?
Yeah.
It's really cool that like back-to-back kind of collabs with Major Lazer that both did pretty well. That was a pretty cool thing.
that was some good years, I gotta say.
But it's so exciting with this new record because there's going to be so many amazing songs out there. People can listen. There's like an EP. There's like 4 songs out now, right?
Yeah, 4 songs out now. Yeah.
Are all those going to be on the record? All 4 of those are going to be on the new record?
All of them are going to be on the record, yeah.
Absolutely. When people get a chance to listen to this record when it's out, the obvious answer, you hope they enjoy it, they have a good time. What are you hoping, if we dive deeper into it, what are you hoping they get out of it when they listen to Motordrome?
I mean, I hope, as always, like, because me as a listener, when I listen to music, I always look for something I can relate to or connect myself to so that I can kind of like feel inspired or just like lift me up, For instance, I listen so much to Girl in Red at the moment. Like it's like her songs, I really connect with it, and I can feel like it's like healing me listening to her. And so obviously I hope that people will listen to my music and have an experience like that. And then I think for me, like playing live and going to live shows, but also performing at a live show, like that's like a very important part of my job. I think that thing, if people, it's a success for me if people come to my shows and they sing along, because that's when you really feel your audience and you get like a very one-on-one reaction to it. So
music is medicine. Music is therapy. I mean, people, it is.
Therapy. I really agree.
It's funny because for me, bands like Green Day, Sum 41, Blink-182, like they have helped me through some really tough times.
Yes.
Like I wouldn't be.
No, it makes sense. Green Day also helped me.
Yeah, it is so good. Mo, thank you so much for coming on Popternative and chatting. This was great. Seriously.
No, thank you for having me. It's been a good little chat.
Yeah. So Motordrome is coming out January 28th, and basically it's so easy. Wherever people listen to music, it's going to be there, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it easier to promote now? Like, where can they listen to it? Wherever you listen to music.
Just anywhere. All the places. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, no, I'm so happy for you that it's coming out. It's going to be great. And where can people follow you on social media to keep up to date with everything?
Yes. Well, you can do that. Mo Youth. That's like my name on all the platforms.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative. For previous episodes, Motordrome, Mo's new album, is coming out January 28th. Until next time, this is Mo and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.